Hello everyone, welcome to Quills and Roses. Hope you guys are doing fine. Today in this video I'll be showing you how to transform wooden tissue box into something very beautiful which you can keep for decorating in your living room. These are the things which I have used for it. I have applied white acrylic as a base coat. I have preferred white acrylic because the tissue paper that I have chosen has white background. While you're applying the coat of the acrylic, be careful not to touch those areas which you have already applied. So make sure to dry one surface and then move on to the other surfaces, okay? I have applied 2 coats of the white acrylic here and have set it to dry for overnight actually, okay? Before applying the second coat, make sure the first coat should be dry. Once it is dry, one thing also you have to take care of is you have to check if the box is opening or not, okay? So this is my box where I have applied 2 coats and it's completely dry now. The things which I have used for the further procedure is a nail filer and cellophane sheet, the paintbrush, decoupage glue, my printed tissue paper which I love a lot. I'll be applying on all the surfaces except the base, okay? And scissors. See, make sure that it opens because when you're applying the acrylic there are chances that it will stick on. Now moving on, I would prefer to cut my tissue paper before applying it, before applying glue or any procedures, any process. I would love to pre-cut each and every side and then start up gluing it on. While you're cutting, what I have done is I have left a few millimeters extra so that if at all it shrinks when you're applying the glue, if the tissue paper shrinks, you have enough of the tissue paper left still to cover the edges. Usually when you apply the glue, it tends to tear apart, it tends to stretch rather than shrinkage. But there are sometimes if wrinkles come on, there is a tendency to shrink. So I don't want the edges to feel empty. If at all a wrinkle comes, since it's tissue paper, it's really delicate and there are chances that you will end up having a lot of wrinkles. I'll be telling in this video what I did to avoid these wrinkles. For the center of the oval shape, you have to just snip and cut little slits on it. You don't have to cut that whole oval shape apart. Just put few slits on it so that when you apply glue, you can just push it inside. Similarly, cut all the surfaces wherever you want to put your tissue paper. Measure it, cut it off. Measure it, cut it off. So now once I have done all the cuttings, keep it separate and I'm gonna remove the ply of the tissue paper. I have 2 ply in this tissue paper. Some have 3, I have 2. So it's sometimes a tedious task to do it. So what I've done is I've applied a little bit of glue on my finger, on my index finger, and I'm just trying to peel off the tissue paper plies from that because you just need 1 single ply, and that's why I said already the tissue paper is so thin and when you remove these it becomes even thinner. In this, if you note, I have not done directly on the top only because I have to hold it. I'll be holding the box by putting my hand into that oval groove which the tissue box have on the top. Now, the next step, while you're applying the glue, apply a very, very minimal amount of glue. You don't need your box to be drenching wet. You just need a little bit of glue. Because once you apply a little bit of glue, you see I can even manipulate it with my fingers. It's not drenching wet. My tissue has not gone very wet now. Now, take the cellophane sheet. Since it's sturdy enough, you can press your tissue paper nicely. Wherever there are grooves on your box, just run your fingernails on it and then crease it. That's it. Now I'm applying a second coat of glue. It's actually the first coat of glue on top of the tissue paper, and again I'm pressing it with my cellophane sheet. One tip again, while you're removing the cellophane sheet, be a little gentle. See, when you see, when I was removing with my right hand, I tend to peel my tissue paper off. So always try to remove it a little gentle and try to manipulate it as softly, as gently as possible. Now, I'll tell you why my tissue paper is coming off no matter how gentle I'm peeling off the cellophane sheet. It's only because the thin layer of glue which I have applied on the tissue box earlier, on some spots it had been so thin that it dried off before I have put my tissue paper on it. So better, when you are putting your tissue paper, make sure that none of the spots are left, none of the wooden areas are actually left without glue. When you're applying the glue, you have to make sure that each and every point of your box, of your project, has glue on it. The glue which I am using, it's from Decoupage. It dries off very fast. So in this situation, what I've done is I've taken the nail filer and the pointed area, I'm just running it around that groove so as to separate the tissue paper. But while you're doing it, if your glue is liquidy, just wait for the glue to dry up, otherwise you will tear the tissue paper. So now it's completely dry for me. I have taken my nail filer and I'm filing in such a way that I'm not pulling my tissue paper apart from the box. Just in one single stroke you have to put it down. The next stroke you have to lift your nail filer and again stroke it downwards. In this continuous motion you have to do it and remove all the extras. Similarly, continue this for all the other surfaces. Now I've done all the 4 surfaces, it's all completely dry. Now I'll be doing my top portion. For that, I have used a normal paper knife and I'm cutting that slit a little more deeper so that I can open the lid of my tissue box. You see, it's nicely open and it is such a clean cut, right? Now file off all the extras from there and repeat the same process which you have done for all the other sides. Now for this oval groove, just push in your fingers into it and just adapt the tissue paper around the edges of it. Because since you have already applied the glue on that surface, the tissue paper will easily snug it off. Okay? Once it's dry completely, just take your knife again and cut at the edges of that so that you can lift off the tissue box, so that you can lift it up. Now what I have done is I've cut small strips of these tissue paper so that I don't want to leave those spaces empty. Those rims should also have some tissue paper in it, right? So I have cut those thin strips and I'm applying just to give it a little bit of pop of color. That's it. Rather than leaving it with an empty effect, I've just put that there just to give finishing touch. That's it. So once all of this is done, I'm taking my filer again and giving the last final finishing touches to it. Just snip off any of the extras anywhere, and if you see some tissue paper lifted up or something, just put some little bit glue on it and stick it again. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please do share, like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.